Have you ever wondered how to create huge maps in games? Of course, you will say that you need a large team of developers who, in turn, will create different interiors, buildings, textures, and soon. But what if I tell you that it is possible for one player to make a well-developed card with only two hands? Of course, it's not about RDR3 and GTA 6, but it's also about a pretty good game. And we will talk about the schedule map, having run through the map. I realize that it doesn't look like any other card. Yes, of course, this is the low poly style, and it's much easier to do than the Rockstar game cards. But if you haven't played, you probably don't understand why this particular card delighted me and not any other. The answer is very simple, for its simplicity. And I'm only talking about the map now. Yes, of course, I can imagine how many nerve cells were killed by the developer when creating this map, and to avoid mistakes, and of course to save time. By the end of this video, you will learn how to create not only a lot of assets for your game, but also to sell them very quickly. Why to sell them? The answer is very simple. In the next video, we'll look at how to register on the Epic Games Marketplace and submit your work. Let's start by creating an empty project for our work. Yes, it's a new one. If you want to do work on a project where you either trained or just did something, it probably won't work. Since uploading works to the fab will require careful sorting and naming of all objects and actors. But we'll talk about that later. At the moment, our project is completely empty, and the main question arises, how do I start making assets? Well, you have two ways. Download the asset file, on which we will do absolutely all the actions. Or download my work absolutely for free. It includes only the most important aspects, ready-made assets, materials, and of course, your creativity. All links are in the description. After downloading one of the resources, we get ready-made objects in the form of walls, columns, windows, and more. And so you have the Unreal Engine window open, and what to do next. First, ask yourself the question. How much do you want your world to be diverse solely through buildings? If you can't answer it, then let's look at a couple of games with a large map and a different number of buildings. Consider schedule, as we can see the buildings are completely different. Some are flat, others are made in separate blocks, and others are simply made of a single material. But most importantly, the roads have both ascents and descents. It's very cool, and to achieve this result, it will take a lot of time to create roads and mountains. We go into the created project, and the first thing that needs to be done is to create, for example, ready-made floor assets, for example 2x2, 3x3, so that in the future it would be easier to put walls and roofs on them. After we have created the floor, we make the walls. It's very important here. You should understand that if you want to make a lot of different houses, assets, you will need many variations of walls and roofs. For example, to make work easier, create separate pillars, walls, and roofs. These are the three most important points in creating such maps or buildings. Now I would like to talk exclusively about the Unreal Engine, or rather about the tools that I used. If you have programs such as Blender, Cinema 4D, it will be much easier for you to export one or another ready-made model, asset to your program, instead of spending enough hours in the Unreal Engine. Let's go back to the Unreal Engine. The first and most frequently used tool is Merge Actors. Thanks to this tool, you can combine objects into one whole static mesh. But no matter how much I praise this engine, it's not convenient. And I would also strongly advise you not to make assets in the Unreal Engine. After all, this is a very delicate and painstaking job, and Unreal Engine is not suitable for it. But let's sum it up exactly. The first thing you should pay attention to is the detail of the structures. I'm not even talking about individual elements right now. After you have decided on this task, or rather, do you want to do everything with one material, whether the buildings will be voluminous and so on? After that, you will have a choice of where to start making assets for your work. And of course, if you work well in Unreal Engine Editor, then the choice is obvious. And once again, I remind you that the most important thing is that the walls, roofs, and pillars should be prepared. And you don't need to worry about interior objects. Thank you all for watching this video. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss the tutorial on registering for the Fab trading platform, so that you can post your first creation under my guidance in the future. After all, we will thoroughly analyze each stage. I'll also show you what mistakes I've made. All bye.